Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We invite you to be seated. A very good morning, Prime Minister, esteemed ministers, distinguished guests, legal experts, and friends from across ASEAN and beyond. My name is Daryl Baptist, and I warmly welcome you to the ASEAN Law Forum 2025, here in the heart of our beautiful capital, Kuala Lumpur. We begin today's event by seeking the blessings of the Almighty by inviting Mr. Muhammad Nazrin bin Muhammad Saleh to lead us in the Dua recitation. Please welcome Mr. Nazrin.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin ashrafil mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. O Allah, we gather here today in gratitude and solidarity as representatives, scholars and guardians of justice across ASEAN nations. As we convene this ASEAN Law Forum 2025, we seek your blessings of wisdom, cooperation, and peace. O Allah, please guide our minds and heart as we deliberate on laws that uphold dignity, equity, and harmony among our diverse peoples. Illuminate our discussions with clarity, compassion, and a shared commitment to justice. May this forum strengthen the bonds of our ASEAN community, fostering mutual respect and understanding. Bless our leaders and delegates and all who labor for the rule of law. We pray for a future where our legal frameworks reflect fairness, protect the vulnerable, and nurture sustainable prosperity for generations to come. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina azaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Nazrin, for leading the Dua recitation. Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim, Prime Minister of Malaysia. Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Azalina Othman Said, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Law and Institutional Reforms. Yang Berhormat M. Kula Segaran, Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Law and Institutional Reform. Esteemed speakers, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Salam Malaysia Madani, Selamat Datang dan Selamat Pagi. A very good morning and welcome to the ASEAN Law Forum 2025. On behalf of the Legal Affairs Division, Prime Minister's Department, the Asian International Arbitration Center, Malaysia, the Ministry of Justice of Japan, the Economic Research Institute for ASEAN and East Asia, also known as AREA, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the ASEAN Law Forum 2025, enhancing access to justice in the ASEAN community, bridging legal cooperation for inclusive growth. We are also indeed honored that Yang Berhormat Datin Sri Paduka Dayang Haja Nur Hashima binti Haji Muhammad Taib, Attorney General of Brunei Darussalam, His Excellency Dr. Chin Malin, Permanent Secretary of State of the Ministry of Justice, Cambodia, His Excellency Mr. Supratman Andi Aktas, Minister of Law, Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Ketsana Pomechan, Vice Minister of Justice, Laos, His Excellency Mr. Frederick A. Vida, Under-Secretary of Justice, Philippines, His Excellency Mr. Edwin Tong, Minister of Law, Singapore, His Excellency Mr. Suryapong Taptimte, Managing Director of the Thailand Arbitration Institute, Thailand, His Excellency Dr. Nguyen Tan Tu, Vice Minister of Justice, Vietnam, His Excellency Mr. Sergio de Jesus Fernandez da Costa Hornay, Minister of Justice, Timor-Leste, His Excellency Dr. Kao Kim Horn, the Secretary General of ASEAN, His Excellency Mr. Komura Masahiro, State Minister of Japan, and His Excellency Mr. Tetsuya Watanabe, President of Economic Institute for ASEAN and East Asia, also known as AREA, are all here with us this morning, and we thank all your excellencies for gracing us with your presence. To kick things off, let's sit back and enjoy a special video showcasing the best highlights of our journey that has led us here to today's ASEAN Law Forum 2025.
This forum is a testament to our collective commitment that justice, when made accessible, is not only the right of every citizen, but also a necessary driver of growth, resilience, and trust in our institutions.
We gather not just as officials and legal experts, but as custodians of justice entrusted with shaping a future where the law protects every citizen, rich or poor, powerful or powerless.
Days, the ASEAN Law Forum has been a vital platform towards strengthening legal cooperation, arbitration, and mediation in our region. We have journeyed through insightful sessions, thought-provoking discussions, and meaningful exchanges of ideas. The knowledge we have gained here is more than just theory. It is a building block, and together we are shaping a future where our legal frameworks are not just aligned with global best practices, but most importantly, is fit for all ASEAN countries. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to invite Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Azalina Othman Said, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Law and Institutional Reforms, to deliver her welcoming address.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Madani. Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim, Prime Minister of Malaysia, Chairman of ASEAN 2025. Yang Berhormat Tuan Kuala, the Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department. Excellencies, the ASEAN Law Ministers and Vice Ministers. His Excellency Dr. Kao, Secretary General of ASEAN. Esteemed speakers, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ASEAN Law Forum 2025. It is my great honor to welcome everyone to this final day, sir, on the ASEAN Law Forum 2025 in the heart of Kuala Lumpur. I would like to thank all the co-organizers and the partners who made this forum possible. Yesterday, sir, I brought them to the real taste of Malaysia diplomacy, which is durian diplomacy. So we managed to share a lot of things in front of the Honorable Governor from Sarawak and both the speakers of the upper house and the lower house, sir. So I believe, sir, next year for all the ASEAN meetings, we must also have some durian diplomacy. Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri, Prime Minister, my dear colleagues, ministers and deputy ministers, and all the audiences today. As chair of ASEAN 2025, Malaysia carries the theme inclusivity and sustainability. Guided by our Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim, we have placed legal institutional reform at the very heart of this chairmanship. Our ASEAN tour to China and Japan and across the region reaffirm one truth. Robust legal cooperation is the foundation of inclusive growth. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this forum for this past 3 days culminates in a joint statement on arbitration and mediation. Why is this important? Because alternate dispute resolution is not only about resolving disputes, but it is also about building trust, investors' confidence, and regional resilience. Malaysia is proud to strengthen our framework by amending our Arbitration Act and establishing the AIAC Court of Arbitration, partnering with China and Japan as new partners, and moving towards ratifying the Singapore Convention on Mediation. We want ASEAN to be known globally as a hub for fair, predictable, and enforceable dispute resolution platforms. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the discussion for the past few days have reminded us few truths. Number one, our challenges from digital governance to cross-border enforcement are shared. Number two, our diverse legal systems are not a barrier but a strength. And finally, we are in the Southeast Asia legal movement, a chance to define a legal order true to our identity yet open to the world. With that, ladies and gentlemen, the joint statement that we will sign today is more than just words on paper. It is a message to the world. ASEAN is open for business, united in justice, and committed to inclusivity. And Aristotle once said, the only stable state is the one which all men or women are equal before the law. Let us carry this torch, ladies and gentlemen. Together, let us build one ASEAN, fair, just, and resilient. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Azlina, for the welcoming address. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great privilege to now invite our next speaker, His Excellency, Dr. Kao Kim Horn, Secretary General of ASEAN.
Honorable Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, Prime Minister of Malaysia, Chairman of ASEAN 2025, Honorable Datuk Seri Azlin Otmansen, Ministers and Malaysia's Prime Ministers, Department of Law and Institutional Reform, Honorable Ministers and Vice Ministers of Law and Attorneys General of ASEAN Member States, State Minister of Justice Japan, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. I begin by extending my sincere appreciation to the government of Malaysia for convening the ASEAN Law Forum 2025. This forum is not only a platform for dialogue, but also a timely gathering to reflect on the evolving landscape of international commercial arbitration and mediation, fields that are increasingly central to sustaining business confidence, investment flows, and regional integration in ASEAN and beyond. As global commerce becomes even more interdependent, ASEAN must equip itself with robust, credible frameworks for resolving disputes. In this context, this event takes on added significance as we adopt the joint statement by ASEAN law ministers on international, commercial, arbitration, and mediation development. This collective initiative ensures that our regional frameworks respond to the practical needs of businesses, while also strengthening ASEAN's role as a trusted and reliable partner in the global economy. Over the years, ASEAN member states have advanced the international commercial arbitration as part of our commitment to reinforcing the rule of law and accelerating economic integration. Our progress reflects both regional determination and our alignment with international best practices. Notable developments have emerged across the region, the adoption of new and revised arbitration laws, potential accession to the 1958 New York Convention, and the adoption of the Singapore Convention on Mediation by the UN General Assembly in December 2018, which was subsequently opened for signature in August 2019 in Singapore. These developments, combined with the growth of mediation and arbitral institutions across ASEAN, demonstrate our recognition that arbitration and mediation are not only technical legal tools, but also vital mechanisms for enhancing trust, ensuring predictability, and reducing risk in regional and global commerce. Legal certainty and predictability underpin the implementation of our ASEAN economic commitments. This growing reliance on effective legal mechanisms has accompanied ASEAN's remarkable economic journey. Deepening regional integration and sustained economic growth over many decades have propelled ASEAN to become the world's 5th largest economy today and on track to become the 4th largest by 2030. Projections indicate that ASEAN's GDP will reach approximately $4.5 trillion by the same period. With this growth comes a parallel responsibility to provide effective and trusted mechanisms for resolving commercial disputes so that investors and businesses can operate in ASEAN with confidence. The rich diversity of ASEAN member state legal system, ranging from common law, civil law, Islamic law, and customary traditions, creates both challenges and complexities in developing comprehensive dispute settlement mechanisms that serve our regions effectively. But as it provides ASEAN with a unique comparative advantage, the ability to draw on diverse traditions and to model legal pluralism that works in practice. Building on this foundation, we must also prepare for emerging challenges. Current developments in arbitration and mediation highlight the need for ongoing capacity building and knowledge sharing among ASEAN member states. We also recognize the growing impact of technological innovations, including digital arbitration platforms and online dispute resolution, while ensuring that these developments remain rooted in fundamental legal principles. So with this collaborative approach, ASEAN member states can harness each other's knowledge and experiences, contributing jointly to regional legal development, particularly in arbitration and mediation, thereby supporting ASEAN economic growth. Malaysia's initiative on the joint statement, backed by all ASEAN member states, therefore represent a timely and essential achievement. This reflects our shared understanding of the importance of strengthened cooperation in commercial dispute resolution. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, these regional efforts are further complemented by ongoing work under the ASEAN Laws Ministers' mandate. Within the ASEAN Laws Ministers' mandate and purview, I'd like to take this opportunity to highlight the work of the Astro Working Group on examining the modalities for the harmonization of trade laws of ASEAN member states, which links to our efforts in fostering legal cooperation and harmonization of trade laws across our entire region. ASEAN member states have discussed and explored matters relating to arbitration laws and practices, including the way forward for an advisory panel on arbitration, standards for international sales of goods, legal infrastructure for e-commerce, and the signing and ratification of the Singapore Convention on Mediation. Importantly, the alignment of trade-related legal frameworks with region and global standards, particularly under the United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, UNCITRAL, underscores ASEAN's commitment to multilateralism, to a rule-based order, and to contribute constructively to global commerce and governance in trade and investment. Our collaboration also extends across ASEAN's wider legal community. The ASEAN Law Ministers meeting and the ASEAN Senior Law Official meetings, with support from ASEAN Secretariat, have explored cooperation with the ASEAN Law Association for activities across various fields, including dispute resolution and advancing legal convergence and the enforcement of foreign arbitral awards and settlement agreements. Complementing these efforts, the ASEAN Secretariat collaborates closely with the Secretariat of the Council of ASEAN Chief Justices in supporting and facilitating the work of both organizations in order to assist in implementing ASEAN's community-building efforts, particularly our rules-based agenda. The ASEAN Law Forum 2025, anchored by Malaysia's initiative on international commercial arbitration and mediation development, will contribute to the continuing work of the ASEAN Law Ministers meeting. I look forward to the 13th ASEAN Law Ministers meeting and related meetings in November of this year in Manila. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, ASEAN's progress in arbitration and mediation reflects not only our regional solidarity, but also our aspiration to contribute to global stability. At a time when international rules-based institutions face challenges, ASEAN's commitment to dialogue, cooperation, and peaceful settlement of dispute reaffirm the enduring values of multilateralism. Malaysia's leadership, of course, with the High President of the Honorable Prime Minister here, during its ASEAN chairmanship has been instrumental in this progress. And today's joint statement exemplifies how our region addresses challenges through unity and respect for diversity. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, in closing, let me emphasize that ASEAN's journey in building robust dispute resolution frameworks is not just about managing differences, but about fostering trust, certainty, predictability, and resilience for generations to come. With unity and shared purpose, ASEAN can serve as both a hub for economic growth and a beacon of rules-based cooperation in our interconnected world. I once again congratulate Malaysia for convening the ASEAN Law Forum 2025 and for advancing arbitration and mediation development throughout our region. I thank you.
Thank you for those words, Your Excellency. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we have now arrived at a defining moment in the ASEAN Law Forum 2025. The keynote address from the Prime Minister of Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a heartfelt welcome to Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim, Prime Minister of Malaysia.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Menteri Azalina, rakan-rakan Menteri dan Peguam Negara, Timbalan Menteri, tetamu yang saya muliakan. Alhamdulillah kita dapat menganjurkan satu persidangan perundangan ASEAN dan seperti mana disinggung oleh Menteri Azalina, sistem perundangan Badan Kehakiman merupakan tonggak utama dalam negara bebas, merdeka dan demokratik. Oleh itu, ia menuntut perubahan, reform yang berterusan. Prinsip pengasingan kuasa menuntut kita memahami bahawa era keangkuhan kuasa sama ada badan eksekutif, badan kehakiman atau legislatif lalu berakhir. Pengalaman di negara-negara ASEAN, termasuk di Malaysia, membuktikan bahawa ada era di mana keangkuhan kuasa politik menyebabkan lemahnya sistem perundangan, seperti juga kerusakan dan kecemaran yang berlaku dalam badan kehakiman dengan tudingan rasuah dan keangkuhan serta penyelewengan. Sebab itu bila Menteri Azalina menekankan keperluan perubahan dan beliau melakukan itu dengan semangat dan yang kental dan kesungguhan dalam sidang-sidang jemaah menteri, perubahan-perubahan yang paling mantap dalam sejarah kita lihat dan langkah-langkah kerangka yang dilakukan bersama Jabatan Peguam Negara itu akan memberi keyakinan baru supaya meleburkan sanggahan terhadap salah guna kuasa baik dari segi pimpinan eksekutif ataupun kecenderungan badan kehakiman untuk memamerkan kecelaruan dalam pemahaman perundangan dan aspek keangkuhan yang mungkin berlaku. Sebab itu kita sebagai kerajaan madani mendukung sepenuhnya ikhtiar yang dikemukakan oleh beliau dan rakan-rakan khususnya di Jabatan Peguam Negara. Thank you again Dr. Kao Kim Hon for the support, and I believe the presence of ministers and attorney generals and representatives of ASEAN signifies our total commitment to undertake and effect reform, law, justice, accessibility in ASEAN. So we are of course honored to host this forum, and may I again reiterate my expression of gratitude to all those who have contributed to this success, and most significantly the ASEAN commitment seen from the senior representation during this conference. Your presence, of course, reaffirms our collective resolve to strengthen justice and fairness as a cornerstone in regional integration. Malaysia has chosen the theme inclusivity and sustainability. And again, as alluded to by Minister Zalina, these words are not just mere platitudes. They represent a profound commitment to build an ASEAN that leaves no one behind and ensures our institutions endure beyond the demands of the present moment. Coming from my personal experience, I can certainly differentiate the meaning of accessibility to the elites and the rich and the masses. Therefore, the issue of access is, to me, very critical to ensure there is justice for every single citizen in our countries. I've seen where the poor, the marginalized have been largely ignored because there's no access to the legal process. Therefore, the discussion must focus also to issues of inclusivity, because both in terms of development and progress, education and health, accessibility to legal process is, to my mind, critical, particularly, again, I repeat, the poor, the marginalized. Because I've seen in Sungai Buloh, where I had the rare privilege of staying for many, many years, I can see that gross disparity, and therefore justice cannot be expected to be impacted on these poorer segments of our community. That's why I take a real pleasure in the passion and commitment of Minister Zalina, although she didn't have the experience, personal, practical experience, but I've shared with her quite a number of times what it means to have access to justice. Sustainability, in turn, is about building legal systems and institutions that stand the test of time. A government's true strength does not rest in the reach of its authority, but in the integrity of its institutions, its fairness in governance, and the trust it earns from its citizens. So we stand today at a defining moment. ASEAN is moving towards its vision 2045, and the rule of law will be the foundation of that journey. A rules-based ASEAN is not a technical aspiration. It is a bedrock of trust, stability, and shared prosperity. Similarly, unity in ASEAN does not demand uniformity. Our diversity is our strength. Each of our nations carries its own traditions, cultural values, and historical experiences. Yet these differences enrich rather than divide us. We are familiar with bersekutu, bertambah mutu in Malaysia, bineka tunggal eka in Indonesia, which actually summarizes this spirit of multiculturalism and yet having the same aspiration for a united country and now ASEAN. So what binds us together is not sameness, but the collective will to ensure that our systems work in harmony for the greater good of our peoples. And if we are to uphold the shared framework, then each nation must also summon the resolve to strengthen its own legal foundations. For only strong pillars at home can sustain a resilient edifice abroad. In this spirit, Malaysia is reflecting on how best to strengthen its own legal architecture. Fortunately or unfortunately, I have a Minister of Law who is totally passionate and harassing us all the time to effect change as fast as possible. So therefore, I have to seriously consider the establishment of a dedicated Ministry of Law. A step that would not only ensure greater coherence in our national legal ecosystem, but also enable Malaysia to engage more meaningfully with our regional partners in advancing the rule of law. This statement is not smuggled by Azarina. It's after my strong reflection what I need to do towards the end of this year. By aligning ourselves with the best practices of our neighbors, Malaysia will be better placed to shape a more just and responsive regional order. With this spirit of renewal, ASEAN too must continue to invest in mutual legal assistance, strengthen mechanisms for dispute resolution, and confront the new challenges of digital governance and the regulation of artificial intelligence. These are not abstract reforms, they are acts of trust binding, of ensuring that ASEAN remains relevant and resilient in a rapidly changing world. Our region has proven time and time again that disputes can be resolved through dialogue and principled diplomacy. I salute both the leaders of Laos and Cambodia for this commitment to secure lasting, amicable resolution of the conflict and lasting peace. ASEAN's approach to peace has always been one of quiet strength, consensus, and respect. The same spirit must guide our legal cooperation. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, history shows us that confrontation breeds only uncertainty, while dialogue builds the trust needed for lasting stability. We saw this recently when tensions flared, as I've mentioned, between Thailand and Cambodia. Now, through the ASEAN spirit, the leaders of ASEAN and many other world leaders, we were able to support this effort to mediate, but only through the collective will of ASEAN. And I commend both leaders because both parties agreed swiftly to a ceasefire. Now, this was not just a triumph of diplomacy, but a reminder that even in moments of deep strain, Dr. Kao, ASEAN can rise above division and reaffirm its role as custodian of peace. As Nelson Mandela once reminded us, courageous people do not fear forgiving for the sake of peace. So when we strengthen mediation, arbitration, and conciliation, we do more than refine legal processes. We demonstrate our shared commitment to peace, stability, and the rule of law. Now, I understand that the forum will adopt joint statement on legal cooperation, human rights, and sustainable development. And we look forward to effecting this resolution into practice. And Malaysia, of course, remain committed in its resolve to translate it into practical action through legal processes and series of reforms, too fast that the Attorney General start complaining to me that the ministers wants the legal drafts to be cleared too quickly, and that would take a lot of strain on the legal team. But again, as I said, this is effective, but what matters more is the resolve to translate aspiration into action, vision into tangible progress for our peoples. Sekali lagi saya ucap terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum.
Thank you, Prime Minister, for that inspiring speech. Can I please invite you to remain on stage? We would now like to invite all ASEAN law ministers to join the Prime Minister on stage as well. And now for the adoption and affirmation of ASEAN Law Ministers' joint statement on the international commercial arbitration and mediation development. We would like to invite Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Azalina Othman Said to step forward and present the mock joint statement to the Secretary General of ASEAN, His Excellency Dr. Kao Kim Horn. This gesture represents the spirit of unity, collaboration, and the formal adoption of our joint statement. Now, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to capture this memorable moment. Let's have a photo session with all the ASEAN member states. We're going to begin with a standing position first. Members of the media, this is your moment. And one more pause, we will begin with the symbol of unity, which is the ASEAN Way handshake. Just a reminder, it is a right hand over your left hand. Right hand over the left hand. Very united. We would now like to invite Yang Berhormat M. Kula Seguren, His Excellency Mr. Komura Masahiro, His Excellency Mr. Tetsuya Watanabe to join our ASEAN ministers on stage for the photo session. We would like to invite the AG to join our ministers on stage as well. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to celebrate this historic moment. We do have one more small request for all our ministers. We would like to take another group photo with all our audiences here that are present. So if we could all make our way down towards the ground, and our cameraman can slowly make their way on stage. But let's just give our ministers some time. So members of the media, you can head on stage, but just give our ministers some time to make their way downstairs. Now, if we could have all our excellencies, our ministers, look up towards the stage. Ladies and gentlemen in the crowd, if you could all rise as well. Everybody can look towards the stage, to our cameraman. And big smiles, everybody. Okay, in 1, 2, 3, big smiles. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organizer, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim, Prime Minister of Malaysia. And to all our distinguished guests for making the time to join us here today, the Prime Minister will now be leaving the hall. Please rise, ladies and gentlemen, as Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri makes his way out.